getting a little closer. Starting to climb now. So I took off my jacket because I was getting a little too hot, even though it's like 20 something degrees right now. View's starting to get pretty decent. Spinning around there. So, I don't know, we climbed up a couple 100 feet or something, not too much. We're going up there. Hit a little bit of ice on the trail so far, not bad. But I do have some spikes for my boots in case we get quite a bit, especially areas where there's some big drop-offs. It's quite the workout. Who needs a gym when you could do this? A large format gear in your back, and a nice climb at moderate elevation. It's a good morning. Well, the sun is starting to rise. It'll be a while till it gets to us because it's behind those mountains there. You can see a little bit of sunlight hitting that mountain in the background. And there's a trail from where we came from, and the rest of the trail's up there. I'm so glad that before I went on this trip, I got some spikes, because otherwise this would be absolutely dangerous. Lots of drop-offs and lots of very slippery ice. $70, well spent. So that up there is Angel's Landing. I'm not going there. I'm actually going to be heading a little further up the Western Trail. It's actually a much more delightful hike when it's cold and icy and snowy. A lot easier going up Walter's Wiggles that way. So I'm at the Scouts Lookout area. I just want to show you how far we've climbed so far today. That down there is Big Bend, and that's where I took a photo yesterday, actually 2 photos. It's pretty crazy, huh? So one of the things that I was hoping to come up here and kind of scout out and see if it was shootable, and I'll swing you around here. Way up there's a bunch of snow, and above that is a wall with some really nice desert varnish on it. I was hoping that coming up here would get me closer to it, to the point where I could use my long lens to capture a little bit of snow below the wall, but it's really still too far away. But that looked really nice yesterday in kind of a soft reflected light. I'm always drawn to the desert varnish, but I don't think that's gonna work. But I think what I'm gonna do is probably head back down, and then grab some breakfast and get down into the canyon down there near Big Bend and see if I can find some other shots where the thing's kind of spotlit. But it's always good to check this stuff out. A little disappointing it's not gonna make for a good shot, but it was a fun climb. And half the battle of photography is the journey of getting there. say battle's not really a good word, but yeah. So after hanging out here for a little bit, have some snacks, I found kind of a cool scene that I think I'm gonna set up a shot for. So I'll kind of show you over here, that spire down there. So I'm getting my camera all set up. I'm thinking about shooting a vertical black and white photo of it. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of vertical so far. I just finished making 2 exposures on Delta 100 black and white film of that vertical spire down there. And I've shot so far more black and white film on this trip than I have on any other trip. And one of the things I'm really enjoying about it is the fact that I could shoot any time of day. It's all about light and form and texture. And that spire down there really stood out to me because it's backlit. So I think it'll have some interesting light around it. And then the face of it has a little bit of reflected light on it, should make it brighter than the area back behind it. And a lot of texture, and the snow helps separate it a little bit as well. And since I'm still so incredibly new at shooting black and white film and still trying to figure it out as far as exposure, I did take 2 bracketed exposures. So I took one that was a stop brighter than the other. So we'll see how that turns out. It's all kind of experimenting. Also should say that it's a vertical composition, which I don't do a lot of. I prefer horizontal as much as possible because I think it looks nicer on a wall, but that spire, I think vertical really helps to show the size of it so much better. I tried horizontal, but there are some sort of awkward elements to either side. But even though I came up here with the intention of photographing one of the scenes that has reflected light on it and some desert varnish and all that in color, I'm glad I brought black and white with me because that'd be really hard to shoot in color. But I might hang out here a little while longer, see if I can find anything else up here, and then head down to the canyon and see about getting some photos down there. Let's watch some icicles fall off the cliff there. It's kind of cool. It's warm up here in the sun. That's good at least. It was cold this morning, but it's nice to be up here. It's one of the things I love about Zion. You can go so many different places and see so many different things. I love this place. Well, after having some breakfast, I came over here to the Big Bend area and have my camera set up and already made a few exposures of the winter trees you see back behind me there. And I exposed a sheet of, actually 2 sheets of Actar and then a single sheet of Delta 100. I got 1 more sheet I'll expose as the light changes a little bit. But just as in yesterday, my half-second shutter is not working. Also my 1 second, my 1/4 second, and possibly my 1/8 of a second. I'll need to get them fixed when I get back, but I just kind of learned what about a half second is and then just timed it with the bulb mode, so hopefully that works out well. Also point out, if you look way up there, you see the snow-covered white sandstone area up high. And then you drop down a little bit, and they're almost like bleachers as far as sandstone. And then a little to the right of that, kind of in between the two to the right, these 2 red kind of spires. The one on the right, not the one with the trees on it, but the one to the right, that's where I was this morning. And the area that I photographed is still illuminated in sun right there. So it gives a sense of perspective as far as where I am now versus where I was this morning. So I've certainly covered a little bit of ground today. But I'm gonna wait until the light changes a little bit here, expose my second sheet of Delta, and also have an idea for this evening for a little more of an experimental photo involving the river and the sky and all that kind of reflection-y sort of shot that might be kind of neat. But yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling here and waiting for the good light. Maybe that was a half second. I don't know. I'm hoping it was. That's what I was intending to do. That's what happens when your lens breaks. Thank you. So I got this thing that I do every time I take a photo. So I'm packing up my gear. I give the location a nice hearty thank you, just for letting me be there and taking some photos. I'm gonna wander off over here a little bit because there's some deer off. You'll see behind me here. I like to give them at least a little bit of space. Wild animals. There you go. Anyways, I made my final exposure on Delta 100 just as the light was starting to vanish from the foreground. And now I gotta head back to the truck, load a little more film. I've exposed 4 sheets of black and white and 2 sheets of color negative. And there's a photo I think might be kind of cool for this evening. Maybe it's a matter of just going there, not necessarily shooting it, but just going there and seeing if there's a composition to be had. Maybe more in the kind of abstract-y kind of category. But I should probably get back to the truck, maybe load some film if I feel like it, but certainly head over to the other location and see if there's a possible composition for what I have in mind. But it's certainly been a pretty busy day so far. That's a good thing. I've actually been here a lot longer than I thought I would. After this, I'm heading over to Death Valley. But I think I got one more day in me for Zion, and then head to the warmth of Death Valley.
If you love this content and want to help support my journey, you can do so by subscribing to my YouTube channel, telling a friend, or sending a contribution of just $24 a year via PayPal. I depend on the generous support of people like you to produce this ad-free content. Thanks in advance for your support.